You've probably already said it today. That yes that slipped out before your brain even had a chance to think. Maybe it was small, a favor for a colleague, an invitation to a dinner you're too tired to attend, or a quiet agreement with an opinion you don't actually share. You felt that familiar tightness in your chest, the instant knowing that a boundary was being crossed, and then the automatic override. You smiled, you agreed, you erased yourself. Most of the time, we tell ourselves this is a good thing. We call it kindness, flexibility, or the glue that holds everything together. But if you stop and look closely at your life, you start to see that this yes isn't a bridge to others. It's a wall. And behind that wall, something quietly starves. Here on Clarity Quest, a place to slow down and look inward, we ask a question most of us avoid. What is the cost you are secretly paying for your inability to say no? We often think of the people pleaser as simply kind or shy. Maybe they lack confidence or don't know how to set boundaries. But psychology tells a more complex and sometimes unsettling story. Your inability to say no isn't a flaw. It's a highly developed survival strategy. It's armor you've worn so long that it feels like your skin. To see why, we need to look back at the first big loss, the loss of speaking up to feel safe. For many, saying yes started as a survival habit called fawning. Instead of fighting or running, you try to please the threat. If you grew up with a parent whose moods were unpredictable, or saying no brought anger or coldness, you learned that safety meant keeping others happy. You became a chameleon, changing yourself to fit the room and avoid conflict. In that world, no wasn't just a word, it felt dangerous. So you kept saying yes, not realizing that every time you protected others' comfort, you sacrificed your own. This leads us to a deeper truth, the illusion of control. When you avoid saying no because you don't want to hurt someone, you act as if they are too weak for honesty. You decide your no might break them. Hidden in this is a quiet superiority. I'm the only one strong enough, or they can't cope without me giving in. By refusing to draw a line, you don't protect them, you block their growth. You take away their chance to face disappointment and meet the real you. Instead, you hand them a shadow. As the habit deepens, a second loss emerges, the loss of identity's freedom. Yes stops being a choice. It becomes your whole self. This is the good child trap. You've built your worth on being the dependable, selfless one, the person others can always count on. But here's the catch. If your value rests only on serving others, then no feels like the end of you. Without being the good one, who are you? That question can feel terrifying, like staring into a blank space where identity should be. Many stay locked in obedience because they fear the emptiness that follows a boundary. They choose exhaustion and resentment over the risk of being unknown, clinging to the comfort of a role that slowly erases them. This merging of identity hides another trap, what psychologists call projective identification. But think of it more simply as carrying someone else's feelings inside you. You sense the other person's disappointment so strongly that it feels like your own pain. Their emotions don't just stay with them, they spill into you, and you end up living with the weight of their reactions. In that state, saying yes isn't really about helping them, it's about easing the burden of emotions you've absorbed. Over time, this blurs the line between your needs and theirs. You stop living fully as yourself, and your boundaries dissolve into everyone else's. One of the most hidden reasons we struggle to say no is what can be called the debt of existence. It's the quiet belief that you don't truly deserve your place in the world. Deep down, you feel as if simply being here isn't enough. You must constantly prove your worth. So every yes becomes like a small payment toward a debt that never disappears. Each time you agree, you're not just helping someone, you're buying the right to exist, to be accepted, to be loved. The tragedy is that this debt can never be cleared because your existence was never meant to be earned. It was meant to be lived. At this point, it's crucial to see reality clearly. This behavior isn't a flaw in your personality, and it isn't just who you are. It's a survival strategy your younger self created to make it through difficult moments. Back then, it worked. It kept you safe. It kept people close. But what once protected the child now suffocates the adult. You're still following an old map, one designed for danger, but the world around you has changed. That map no longer leads to safety. It leads to exhaustion, resentment, and a shrinking sense of self. To grow, you must recognize that the strategy served its purpose in the past, but now it's time to set it down and draw a new map for the life you want to live. This resentment leads to the third loss, the loss of real connection. In trying so hard not to push anyone away, you've made it impossible for anyone to truly reach you. Real connection needs two people fully present, but if you're always agreeing, always bending, you disappear. You become a mirror, showing others only what they want to see. They don't love you, they love your compliance, and deep down, you feel it. The bitterness rises when your yes is taken for granted because you've taught people to expect it. Your yes slowly turns into a quiet form of protest. Since you can't say no out loud, you say it through your energy, through exhaustion, showing up late, pulling back in small ways, or carrying the hidden belief that others now owe you something in return. But here's the problem. The other person never signed this invisible contract. They didn't agree to repay your silent sacrifices. And when they don't, your resentment hardens. What began as a way to keep connection, the endless yes, ends up poisoning it. Instead of closeness, you're left with distance, bitterness, and the sense that you've given everything while receiving nothing real in return. There's also moral masochism. It's the hidden comfort of being the martyr. You keep saying yes until you're worn out, and that exhaustion starts to feel like proof you're good, even better than those who ask things of you. Tiredness becomes your badge of honor. You tell yourself, I'm too kind, too selfless, when really you're just afraid to be honest about your limits. The cost of this false virtue is steep. You trade away your energy and your life just to feel like a saint. Finally, there's what can be called the void of preference. After years of saying yes, you begin to lose touch with what you truly want. Decades of asking, what do you need from me, weaken the muscle that asks, what do I need for myself? Slowly, your own desires fade into the background. You aren't just hiding the truth from others, you're losing the truth of yourself. When your sense of I disappears, your ability to say no does too. What remains is a life shaped by everyone else's needs, while your voice grows quieter, almost forgotten. So we return to the question, what is the cost of your inability to say no? The answer is honesty. Every yes when you mean no gives others a counterfeit version of you. You deny them the real you, the one with limits, preferences, and humanity. You build relationships on lies and wonder why you feel lonely. Saying no isn't being selfish, it's being real. A boundary defines where you end and another begins. Without it, there's no meeting, only collision or collapse. Growth here isn't about learning assertiveness, it's about integrating your identity. It's realizing you don't owe a debt for your existence. It's accepting that disappointing others is okay if it means being honest. It's moving from being good to being whole. When you say no, people will react. Some will leave, some will be angry, but those who stay are the only ones who can truly see you. Your no gives them something real to hold. This week, notice the yes before it leaves your lips. Feel it. Don't change it yet. Just notice the fear, the tightness. Then ask yourself, if you've said no today, who are you most afraid of becoming? This is a journey. It doesn't end with a single word. It ends with a new way of standing in the world. If you're ready to explore more, check out The Quiet Burden of the Strong Friend, the next step in your quest. We'll see you there.